Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my loving pranams at Bhagwan's divine lotus feet. Loving sarams to all elders, sisters, and brothers. My name is L.R. Krishnan. I am based in Kuwait and part of the Sathya Sai Global Council Zone 8, Middle East and Gulf. Today I am going to present on the subject engaging members and community to serve through centers. Basically, this module has got content which is based on two questions. The first one, what does the Sai Center mean to you personally? And the second one, how do you perceive the role of the Sai Center in the community and what unique contributions does it make? What is exactly the role of a Sai Center for individual development and that of all the members? The first is that the Sathya Sai Center is an effective platform for self-realization. And how does it happen? There are various aspects for individual growth and development. The first is that the Sai Center is an environment, an atmosphere of love. Everyone is required to practice love as per what Bhagavan has told all of us. And the second is the center is a place where one gets absorbed in prayer and worship. Further, the member has got an opportunity to practice the 5 Ds, which is devotion, discipline, duty, discrimination, and determination. The Sai Center has got various wings, and each of the wings has got a lot of activities. They do a lot of activities, and these activities enable individuals to develop themselves and develop their inherent strengths. The Sai Center also provides an opportunity for members to be exemplars of Bhagavan's teachings. As and when we practice, we imbibe the messages given by Bhagavan, we reach the goal of becoming exemplars of Bhagavan's teachings. And then the Sai Center is a platform for serving the needy in the community. Various seva opportunities are given. It is for the members to grab these opportunities and then start practicing them. So the Sai Center provides all these platforms, all these opportunities, avenues for development. Further to the previous one, the Sai Center also enables a person to enhance their skills, their attributes and values for what? For self-realization. Self-realization means to discover the inherent God within us, to discover the Atma within us, which is Swami. And how we do it? We progress slowly. First and foremost, we enhance our self-knowledge. Self-knowledge means to recognize that I am not this body, I am the inherent Atma within. And that leads to self-confidence. As we progress further, we realize that the confidence level has to increase to know that I am progressing positively on the path. And then that gives what is called self-satisfaction, a feeling of having achieved something. So once you are done with self-knowledge and self-confidence and self-satisfaction, we reach a stage where we are able to sacrifice things for others, for the community, for the society. So self-sacrifice is the next step. Having done with all this, we reach the final goal wherein we are able to realize that I am not this body, but the Atma within. And that is the final step, the goal or the end of self-realization. Swami says, Sai Centers are dedicated to the great task of progressively aiding people to realize reality and merge in it. So Sai Center is a platform where one, through successive sadhanas, through successive steps and struggles and so on, reaches the final goal of attaining the divinity within and then finally merging in that. The Sai Center has got two important objectives. One is to enable everyone to grow holistically and recognize the inherent divinity, that is for the individual level, and to assist as many people as possible to realize their inherent divinity. Continuing with the center leader and the Sai Center, the Sai Center leader has got an important responsibility. How can a leader assist people to realize their inherent divinity? The leader has got a responsibility of making members realize their inherent divinity. And how does he do it? The leaders should work for world prosperity. The leader, Sai Center leader, not just effectively manages the activities of the center, but also works for world prosperity. So this is a wide goal, something, a responsibility which is given by Swami, not just for individual development, not just for the center development, but for the world at large. And next is the leaders are organizational leaders. They provide opportunities to serve by formulating projects. So the leader should not confine himself or herself just to doing something which is routine, but develop projects, formulate projects which gives everyone the opportunity to reach their highest aspirations, thus strengthening their centers, homes, villages, states, and nations. And last but not the least, a leader should always practice Swami's teachings. To amplify these three, we've got three quotes of Bhagavan here, which are very, very guiding and profound. The first is for working for world prosperity. Swami says that you have to become a good sevak, that is a good servant of Swami and the community. And by then, what will happen is when you practice this, when you become a good sevak, you will become a leader. And then the world will prosper under your leadership. The second is, Swami says, you must be prepared to spend all your lives in the service of humanity. In the first instance, you must serve your own home, then you must serve your village, and then your state, and finally the country. The thrust here is on first serving within the family, at home. If we are able to do well with our kith and kin, with our brethren, within the family, then only we get qualified to go outside the family and serve the society and the community. What is not practiced at the home level, it is very difficult to reach out to the community. And then Swami says, lead your lives according to my teachings without the slightest modification. This is very important for all of us to know this. Swami insists on following his messages to the core and then imbibing that message, inherent message, and then doing what is required. We should not modify that messages to our comfort or to what is required, but follow that implicitly. And this quote is a wonderful quote. To worship Sai in our heart is bhakti. So what is devotion? Worshipping Swami within us, that is devotion. And worshipping Sai, worshipping Swami in others, that is seva, that is service. So we should keep this in our mind always. What is bhakti and what is seva? This slide captures the important roles and responsibilities of a leader as an instrument of transformation. The leader should never show a sense of superiority. Well, I'm the president, I'm this, I'm that. That sort of feeling should never come. We should always keep in our mind that we are all serving Swami, we are serving the members of a center, and we are serving the community and society. That sort of a feeling should always be there in our minds. So don't show a sense of superiority. That is a message for the leaders. The leaders also should never seek reward or attention for what they are doing. Keep in mind that we are serving Swami, and that should be the primary objective. The leader always promotes unity and harmony in one's own family first, and then in the community and society at large. Third is that the leader should inspire others to participate and do seva as an integral part of the leader's sadhana. That is required. We should always make others participate in seva by motivating and inspiring them. There can be no coercion, there can be no forcing anyone. We have to inspire. That is the guide word here. Lastly, the leader should be a shining example of Swami's love in their personal and family life. The best way to inspire others, the best way to motivate others, and of course follow Swami's teaching is to spread love. That way, I'm very sure people will get attracted to the leader and follow what he is saying, because there is no selfishness in that. It's just a question of spreading love. Swami says, love lives by giving and forgiving. Self lives by getting and forgetting. This is a wonderful message from Bhagavan. So the question arises, how do we inspire others? How do we inspire members? Swami is a role model for all of us. We have seen him practicing all that he says, and he's a wonderful leader. As the ultimate leader, Swami is an exemplar and has practically demonstrated this. How? In all that he does, In all that he says, he has never spoken about himself, but always spread love and preached the important concepts of love and seva. So, Swami is an example for all of us. Swami has always led from the front, and that is what is required for a leader of a Sai Center. Lead from the front, that means practicing and being an example of Swami's teachings. Swami says, it is not the quantity of service you do that matters, nor is the variety. It is the inner joy, the love that you radiate that is important. So, when one is engaged in serving others, we should not look into quantity. We did this much, we did that much. No, that should not be the concept at all. We have to see at the end of that activity, that service activity, whether I am happy, others are happy, and that we could achieve the objective of enhancing the spiritual levels of everyone and that of radiating love. That is what is important. A Sai Center leader exuding inner joy and love will inspire members to connect with their own idealism. That is very important. Each and every member of a Sai Center and that of a community has got his own or her ideals, and it is very important that we reach these ideals. So, for that, the leader has to work for it. And then, when he exudes inner joy and love, I'm very sure that this idealism can be attained by the members. The Sai Center leader also has to give his best to the organization and the task at hand. This means that keeping the goals of the Sai Center is the primary objective that of a leader. This slide is like a roadmap of all that we have presented so far. This slide captures as a summary what is one required to do to engage members and community. The first is the Sai Center. It is an effective platform for transformation through selfless service. So that is the objective of the center. 2, we spoke about the leaders. Leaders are instruments of transformation. The guide word here is practice and inspire. You cannot just eulogize, speak others to follow, but you should practice yourself, and thereby you become an inspiration for everyone. This is the responsibility of leaders. Third, the members. The members, in addition to the leaders, also have got a responsibility, that of being exemplars of Bhagavan's teachings. They should participate in all the devotional activities being conducted, be it bhajans, study circles, any other spiritual activity. So members are required to participate in all this, not only for their development, but also for the entire center. The members should follow the Sealing on Desires program prescribed by Bhagavan and the 9-point code of conduct. These two are very, very important. These are wonderful tools given by Bhagavan for individual transformation. So Swami says, put a ceiling on your desires. He doesn't say do away with the desires. It's a ceiling on desires. So we should start practicing this earnestly so that as we advance in life, we are able to reduce our desires and reach a point wherein there are no desires at all except that of attaining Bhagavan. The other thing is to follow is the 9-point code of conduct, which is also a wonderful tool for transformation. One should keep a record of the 9-point code of conduct, how we are following, what we are doing every day, so that we start with small steps, but ultimately we are able to reach a point wherein we are able to follow all this 9-point code of conduct without any difficulty. The last is engaging ourselves in community service projects. Tree planting, blood donations, food and clothing, birthing kits, these are all activities which help members to be part of the society, part of the community, and achieve that unity which will help us to progress towards divinity. Now, having done with leaders and members, we go to the community. To reach out to the community members, we have to engage in projects which is beneficial to everyone. A few are given here. Educational projects, which is basically the SSC EHV classes and transformational workshops such as dynamic parenting, women's empowerment, etc. Next is participate in blood donation camps, do tree plantation, conduct medical camps and disaster relief. These activities, these are all meant for not only individual development, but that of members of the community who will get inspired, motivated to be part of the Sai Center or participate in all the activities of the center. So that is very important for any center to do this. So this slide gives some information how to engage members of a Sai Center. In every center, members are there and new members keep on coming. So to encourage them, to motivate them, and to make them feel involved, that they are wanted, they are required, what should we do, especially leaders? The first is be welcoming and inclusive. Every member should feel that he or she is wanted and they are welcome to participate in center activities. So the leaders and the existing members should be welcoming and inclusive. The second important point is create warm and loving relationships. That is very important. When the new members feel the warmth in the center, they will be motivated to participate more and more. There's nothing to keep them away. On the contrary, they will look forward for every activity, every weekly satsang, for all that the center does. So create warm and loving relationships. Treat center members as an extended family. This is very important. Every person should feel that we are part of the Sai family and that Bhagavan is the leading this entire center, this family, and we all are together. That's very, very important. Third is, without prejudice or favoritism, involve as many members as possible in taking lead in the activities of all wings of the center. Every wing of the center conducts activities. So it should not be confined to very few. Try to involve as many people as possible. They may not have the skill sets to start with, but over a course of time, they will develop the skill sets to do the activities by Swami's grace and blessings, and also by looking at other brothers and sisters in the center. So involve without any favoritism. That's what is very important. 4. Bhajans. Many members come and join Sai Centers because of the bhajans. That is the starting point. So organize high quality bhajans. The stress here is on high quality because having a low quality will not enthuse members to participate. So organize high quality bhajans and celebrations. Ensure that discipline is observed in all activities. Discipline is very important. Without discipline, it is very difficult to enforce or follow the guide words or important things which Swami has said. 5. Allow children to organize and lead one bhajan session a month. Swami gives a lot of importance to children and to Sai students. So the leaders and the members should allow children to organize and lead one bhajan session a month. This will bring parents' involvement with more enthusiasm. 6. Include youth in all the activities. Today's youth are tomorrow's leaders in the Sai Center and the Sai organization. They should be involved in all the activities, not just the young adult activities. So provide them with meaning behind the activity, explain to them what it means, because the present generation and of course the future generations would like to know why we are doing this. It is not just do this, no. They need to know why we are doing this more than how. 7. Organize spiritual outings and picnics for members and families once or twice a year. Such outings, such picnics, spiritual retreats provides an opportunity to follow Swami's messages, all that he has said, in a relaxed atmosphere. The objective is such retreats will have a lot of talks included, study circles, bhajans, so many activities which will help the members to follow what Swami has said. And there is a very relaxed atmosphere. So there is no stress on anyone that of having to go for work or doing anything else. Spiritual outings, that's very important to follow Swami's messages and to know more about him. Next is that impress upon the members that Seva is not just going out into the community and undertaking service. It is not just doing something. Seva is not just an activity to perform without any meaning. Every activity in the center is an opportunity for selfless service. We always think that going out and giving some food hampers or doing some work for someone is Seva. No, it is not that. Any activity done in the center also is an opportunity for selfless service. It should be treated that way. Lastly, spot talents. There are so many people in our center who get ignored because of various reasons. Spot a talent, involve them, engage members, whether it be in singing, writing skits, reviewing documents, doing children's plays, preparing costumes. I'm very sure that every member of a center has got at least one skill set. It is a responsibility of the leaders to bring out the skill sets, bring out the latent talent, and to make them involved on all these activities, and for them to demonstrate the skill sets and all that they can do. This way, we are giving an opportunity for the members to participate and then progress, not only themselves, but for the center to progress also. In summary, who is a good leader of a Sai Center? A good leader of a Sai Center is one who creates an organizational culture of love and service by personal example. This is very important. You cannot preach, you have to practice. So the leaders have to develop that attitude by which they practice, and thereby the leader creates an organizational culture of love and service by personal example. So members work much beyond their call of duty to maintain excellence in the organization. What is meant by call of duty is that whatever one is required to do for the post he is holding, it is much more than that. They get involved and work with the devotion and love for Swami, and not because the post entails that. And of course, to maintain excellence in the organization. Next is that the leaders engages and inspires members with selfless love, like that of a good and affectionate mother. We have to engage members with selfless love. Then only they'll feel involved. Then only they'll get motivated and inspired to work more and more. A leader, a good leader, is also one who acknowledges their members for successes. When one does something very good, we have to acknowledge that. So all that members do has to be acknowledged for successes and takes responsibility for outcomes. We don't say failures here. All that we are saying is that the leader takes responsibility for outcomes, whatever be it. So the several times it could happen that what we wanted doesn't happen. So one should not get demotivated. One should not get depressed. One should not go back becoming sad. No, take responsibility for the outcome and then do all that is required to make it better and good the next time we do that activity. The leader also takes note of talent for future projects. That's very important. Lastly, the leader always projects themselves as part of the team and talks in terms of we and not you. This is what is called a team leader. The leader is leading the team and not himself or anyone else in particular, projects everyone as we and not you. That's very important. When we keep on saying you did this and so on, no. I did this, no. We did this, that is what is correct. A good leader is love on 2 feet. This is what Swami has been doing. All along during his physical sojourn on earth, he kept on taking everyone with him. Everyone was made to do something for him, engage in some activity. That's very important. There are 2 key questions in this slide. Why engage members and community to serve? This is a very good question. Quite often it would be asked by someone who has entered the center. Question is, why engage members and community to serve? What do I get by this? And then next is, how to engage in the community? The first one, why engage members and community to serve? Well, there are some bullet points here, answers. Individuals cultivate compassion, kindness, and a sense of sacrifice through service. When we engage members, they get to know the concepts and they cultivate compassion. They're very important. And then they also develop kindness and a sense of sacrifice through service. When one gets involved in all the seva projects done by a center, they get to see people who are not all that well placed in society in life, and thereby there's an opportunity to develop compassion, kindness, and a sense of sacrifice. Next is families. Families collectively practice the teachings and transform for the betterment of the nation. The nation progresses based on the progress of the society, which in turn consists of families and individuals. So it is very important that we transform ourselves at an individual level, and then we go for the family development, and then the society, and finally the nation. The entire community develops a sense of unity and universal brotherhood. So when we engage members and community, what happens is that the community members, even if they are not members of a Sai Center, they develop a sense of unity and universal brotherhood. This will enable to prevent so many wrongdoings in the society and in the community. Everyone feels the love of Bhagavan in a different way, and they all work together. All this ultimately results in the prosperity of the country. That's very important. Swami says the prosperity of the country is ultimately enabled by good individuals and good communities. Secondly, how to engage in the community? This question arises. People may ask, members in the center may ask, how do I engage in the community? So they have to be told about what is possible, keeping in mind the laws of the land. Not every country in the world has got the same laws. The laws are different. So we have to be careful how we spread Swami's message of love, peace, and compassion, keeping in mind the local laws. So first and foremost, identify what the law of the land says, what the country says, and then keeping in mind, practice or do Swami's seva projects and all that he has told. Opportunities to undertake service programs varies from center to center and from country to country. Not all the countries have got the same laws, as I said before. So we have to keep in mind the service programs can be undertaken based on the laws of that particular country. The projects given by the leadership is only as a guidance. We have to apply discrimination and make sure that the service program is done without violating any of the laws of the land. Center leaders must also understand their own community needs and organize service projects accordingly. In other words, not every community needs every project. Where there's a shortage of water, undertake the water project. Where there are sufficient people who don't have food to eat, do Narayan Seva there. Wherever there are more sick people, do medical camp there. Don't do a medical camp in a place where most of the people are healthy and sound. No. So, doing a project where it is not required is not a sattvic activity. All Seva projects must be guided by the needs analysis. So, what it means is that the leadership of a Sai Center should first identify whether that particular project is required in a particular society or not. If the society, that community does not need that project, please don't go forward. This is a needs analysis that is to be done first. At all times, we must serve members of the community as though we are serving God. Classic example is Narayan Seva. What we mean by Narayan Seva, it is not just individuals. We are serving Narayanas, that is God, in individuals. That should be kept in our mind always. We should know, acknowledge that it is not the form and the figure we are serving someone, it is the God within them. So serve members of the community as though we are serving God. This is the best way to follow what Swami is saying. God is in everyone, in every person. So acknowledging that is very important when we engage in ourselves in seva activities and in other spiritual activities also. So the last, it shows the progression from individual to the family, community, and country. Individual transformation is done, and then it leads to a scenario or an aspect of family transformation, which then goes to the community and finally the country. Swami says, you must all be filled with the zeal to render service at any time, at any place when the need is there. So the highlight is here on zeal. We should feel inspired, motivated to go forward and do service at any place when the need is there. You must try to attract young people to the service organization. That's also very important. Young people at a very young age should feel the need to serve the society and others. Then they will feel inspired and motivated to continue and do more and more. There are some sample activities here in this slide, how to engage with the community. The first is regular service activities, which I'm very sure many Sai Centers practice, which is the Narayan Seva, medical camps, disaster relief projects, adopting villages, water projects, tree planting. These are to be undertaken based on, as we said in the previous slide, a needs analysis, also based on the resources what we have. We should never engage in something which leads to a problem of resources. Make sure that both people are available, the financial resources permit that, and people have got time to engage in all these activities. Then we go to the next point, which is unique activities. The other unique activities that allow us to share Swami's teachings. And what are these? Join local interfaith groups, or groups where people are there belonging to various faiths, and they are not bound by their faith just like that. They're all there to serve and to have a very secular approach and to follow Bhagavan's teachings. That's very important. So interfaith groups should be broad-minded. So members should join these groups and share Swami's message of unity and faiths. Bring human values into sports. Play sports with local sporting clubs like cricket, netball, basketball, etc. What is the underlying philosophy here? When we participate in such activities, such sporting activities, we have to follow that of unity, concepts of unity, secularism, developing others, motivating others, and so on. So that is the human values in sports. And lastly, the liquid love. Register your center with a local blood donation center and regularly donate as a group. That's very important. Donating blood is serving the community, serving the country. That's very important because there is no thought about one's development, but it's of serving the entire country. And next is develop online and face-to-face workshops on human values. Human values are very important. Here we don't have to take the name and form of Bhagavan. All that is required to is to spread his message by conducting what? Online programs and face-to-face. Develop and deliver online and face-to-face workshops on topics based on human values such as dynamic parenting, grandparenting, ethnic parenting, and so on. There are so many types of parenting workshops. Emotional wellness, that is very important in today's difficult life. There are so many conflicts, so many constraints, so many difficulties. So people are there who get depressed based on situations. So we have to work for emotional wellness. And one very important activity is women's empowerment also, in addition to emotional wellness. So these activities, these programs will help not only individual development, but also develop a positive attitude, a positive approach in all those who are doing work in the society. This slide brings out the difference between Sri Sathya Sai Education Human Values and Sri Sathya Sai Education. Both are being done in centers. So the key difference between these two is explained in this slide. SSEHV means taking Swami's message to the community. Here we don't take Swami's name and form. We focus on his messages. So focus would be on enabling the children to grow into ideal citizens. We take Swami as a role model of humanitarian service. We project him as a role model of humanitarian service. We take his message to the community, but we don't take his name directly. Whereas SSC classes, Sathya Sai Spiritual Education, is for members of the Sai Center, those who have got firm faith in the name and form of Bhagavan. So here, the SSC classes are meant for the members so as to develop and make them future leaders of Sai organization. And thereby, these children tomorrow will accept post responsibilities because they already have developed firm faith in Swami as an avatar. Again, how to promote activities in the community. We have said in the previous slides also, but nevertheless, we reiterate here. Identify and analyze the needs of your local community and develop service projects accordingly. So we said that do a needs analysis. Don't do seva because it is required to be done by the center, but identify and analyze the needs of the community and then develop service projects and implement them. Liaise with local councils, shires, municipalities and offer the services for the community free of charge. There should be no charging monetarily in anyone for anything. No. What is important is to liaise. Liaison does not mean that you sacrifice the ideals of the center. No. Keep in mind the organizational goals, rules, and regulations, but interact with local councils and municipalities and offer the services for the community. What does it mean by offering the service? It means that we do save activities. We conduct like the interfaith workshops and so on. These are done for community development totally free of charge. And next is spread the word in your friend circles and faith communities, temples, social networks, etc. What is meant by spread the word? All that Bhagavan has said. Swami has spoke about Satya, truth, Ahimsa, non-violence, love, prema. So all these concepts, these words can be spread in your circle, focusing on the values, not necessarily on the name and form of Bhagavan, because some people may get upset or irritated when they got a different philosophy, a different faith. So spread the word in your friend circles and faith communities, temples, social networks, etc. Lastly, promote the activities in local free papers, community newsletters, and social media. Here, we are not promoting Bhagavan, but all that he has stood for, the values. So the values have to be spread in these newsletters, in this community papers, so that everyone becomes aware of these human values. How can a community serve through center? So long we were talking about the Sai Center serving the society and the community. But over a course of time, the community members get empowered, motivated, inspired to work and do the same thing what is being done by a Sai Center. Because they have reached a stage where they understand that the Sai Center is not for just preaching some religious concepts, but it is for serving the humanity. So the community members, even though they are not members of the Sai Center, they will come forward and then they start serving the society from their side. And they will use the Sai Center as a platform. So what happens is that invite talented individuals from the community. It's very important. If you want community to serve through Sai Centers, invite talented individuals from the community to be trained in EHV principles. EHV principles is for everyone, not just for children. So we can call adults also and impress upon them the values which Bhagavan has given and help them to deliver programs or workshops conduct independently, of course, following without compromising on the Sai Center or Sai organization rules and regulations. That's very important. No individual outside in the community should violate any of the rules and regulations of the Sai organization and thereby bring a bad name to the name of Bhagavan. No. So we have to be careful how it is done. Secondly, the community members may require some training in EHV principles only, and they need not become members. So the underlying point here is that we have to train community members, those who are not members of the Sai organization. We have trained them in the concepts of EHV, that is Education and Human Values, without asking them to become members of a Sai Center. They should not feel that, well, if I become a member first, then they can get trained. Because that way, a sort of a barrier may come in their minds that someone is trying to impose Bhagavan Baba on me. That should not be the point. The underlying concept here is the values. That's what is important. So give training to members of the community on EHV principles without forcing them to become members of a Sai Center. By undertaking this training, they get developed in the concepts and values of the Sai organization and all that Bhagavan has said, and they'll feel inspired to conduct programs on their own and spread Swami's message. Lastly, the process can only work if we completely imbibe Swami's saying of my life is my message. When we are trying to reach out to the community members, we can do that only if we as members have imbibed Swami's saying of my life is my message. We should be exemplars of Swami's teachings. Only when we practice, we have imbibed, we are exemplars, can we ask others to follow this. They will look upon ourselves as to say, and then, well, this person is not doing himself or herself, how can we follow? So there should never be such situation at all. We should imbibe the values and spread Swami's message, exemplars, then we should ask others to follow. This way, the others will get inspired, the community members will get inspired to know more and engage through the Sai Center. It is said, as the presence of Sai Center is a change agent. That is very important. Sai Center is to be seen as a change agent, fostering a culture of love and non-violence in society. That's very important. So this becomes the underlying thing in the community. It takes roots. What is that? The culture of love and non-violence. Key points to remember when engaging with the community. The first is that Swami's name. As members of the Sai organization, we should keep in mind that when we are engaging with people outside the organization, there should never be an attempt to impose Swami on anyone. That could result in a negative approach, a negative concept, could result in negative feelings in the society. So make sure that Swami's name is not imposed on anyone, but Swami's name can be mentioned in different ways depending on the country and the local laws. We don't have to take Swami's name. We can say that he's the greatest humanitarian. He's a leader with dynamic vision. He's a colossus of inspiration. He's pure love walking on 2 feet. So Swami can be described in all this. So make sure that Swami's name is not taken directly, but based on the values that he has prescribed, that he has given to everyone. Financial resources, this is very important. Quite often in Sai Center, there could be an attempt to take up or do some activity which involves a huge financial outlay and which calls for participation a lot of members. The center is small, this may not be possible. So, keeping in line with Swami's advice on money and spirituality, all community programs should be run free of charge. That is very important. And do it only if the sufficient financial resources are available. Do it only when sufficient physical resources are available. People are available. We are having sufficient financial resources. Then engage, or first of all, modulate and present and do engage in activities only when these resources are available. And next key point is that there should be never charges of any kind. It should be done free of charge. Because once you go charge anything, we are violating from what Swami has said. That should be the key point here. Funds are required for every activity. Nothing can be done without money. Essential funds may be contributed by office bearers and key people involved in the service activity. In other words, knowing about the activity, the office bearers and key people involved should come forward on their own without being asked to, and they contribute what is possible from their side, and thereby this program becomes a possibility. So essential funds should be contributed to members in the service activity. We never reach out to anyone outside this center, outside for this money, and we never solicit funds from anyone. Undertake only those projects that are feasible and sustainable. This is what I said earlier also. First of all, do an analysis. Is this project feasible? Feasibility means what? Is this required at that place? Do we have sufficient financial resources? Do we have sufficient people to do this? Can we do this for the community free of charge? So analyze all those things. And next key point is sustainable. What it means is that it is very easy to start an activity but difficult to sustain. So if I'm going to Narayan Seva today, make sure that you're able to do the Seva every week or at least once a month. Sustain that activity. Similarly, blood donation, do we have sufficient donors? Medical camp, do we have the facility to do medical camp? Do we have sufficient doctors, paramedical staff? So do an analysis, feasibility study, and then make sure that activity is sustainable and then do this. Never undertake something which is done once and stops because it is going to become a bad name for the center. In conclusion, this slide summarizes all that we have presented so far. The most important thing is, what we said so long is engaging for community service and society service. That is very important. Swami gave us this organization bearing his name as a gift to humanity. So we should keep this in mind. He has given this organization with his name as a gift to humanity. It is an effective platform for our transformation. The Sai Center, Sai organization is a platform, a center for our transformation. Thereby, there's a family transformation, and then the society, the community, and finally the nation. So we should be thankful to Bhagavan for having given this organization bearing his name. That's very important. The various activities of a center gives us precious and unique opportunities to practice Swami's teachings and serve humanity unconditionally. So there are some very good words in this sentence. First is that the activities of a center gives us unique opportunities. On our own, when we start practicing, it becomes difficult. When I go out on my own to the society, the community, and start doing something, I may not be able to do all that is possible through a Sai Center. In a Sai Center, you're going to work together with people, and thereby what happens is there are a lot of opportunities, situations, scenarios where we have to forego, reduce, eliminate our ego and work totally for the Sai Center, for the community. So that is a platform. So Sai Center gives us precious and unique opportunities to practice Swami's teachings and serve humanity unconditionally. That is the guide word here. There should not be any condition. I do this, I get this. No. We have to serve humanity unconditionally without any expectations, without seeking rewards of any nature. That is what is unconditional service. Lastly, with love, unity, purity, and discipline, we inspire and engage members and community through the center activities, which will assist them in attaining their highest aspirations. So what are the guide words here? love, unity, purity, and discipline. So, all this we get an opportunity to participate in the Sai Center. So, when we do this, we inspire and engage members and in community through all these activities of the center, which will enable them, which will assist them in attaining their highest aspirations. And what is the highest aspiration? To become good individuals, to go and become a self-realized individual, thereby helping the society and the country. So, good individuals, good society, good community, and a good country ultimately. Swami says, O Sadhak, arise. O Sadhak means practice, a practitioner of all the service activities. Sadhak, spiritual person, arise, gird up your loins, plunge into social service. This is Sai message. So the guide word here is what? Social service. Serve as much as possible. Serve first, starting with the family, and then the society, and then the country. Serve as much as possible. That is the Sai message. This slide shows some seva activities done across the world. This is just to inspire all of us to know what is being done in various parts of the world. In South Africa, the Frasers, the adopted village, they have served some children there. In Indonesia, Narayan Seva. Taiwan, serving those without homes. Malaysia, there's a blood donation camp being done there. In New South Wales, there's a winter drive. And lastly, in Nepal, providing piped water seva. So this piped water is being given there where there was a scarcity of water. These photographs are basically meant for providing us an opportunity and also to inform us that wonderful activities are being done by Sai Centers across the world. Jai Sai Ram. With this, I come to the end of this presentation. I thank Bhagwan for having given me this opportunity and when all of us to participate and then watch this presentation. I am very sure these excellent take-home messages which we should imbibe, follow and start working on so that we are exemplars of Bhagwan's teachings. Jai Sai Ram.